I remember years ago I was in my kitchen. I was probably rinsing some dishes off to put them in the dishwasher, and I had left HGTV running in the family room, and I hear the voice of my little girl scolding the people on the show about knob and tube wiring. Even she knew the dangers of knob and tube from being a real estate kid. I've had this very thing come up a couple of times recently. I have an older house listed and I sold an older home. This is a recurring theme that keeps coming up, and I am a fan of old houses. They are absolutely my favorite type of houses. Those Victorians, the farmhouses. I am a sucker for those because the house that I love the most in the world is my grandparents' farmhouse. But knob and tube continues to show up and be a problem. It is a safety hazard. First of all, I am not a home inspector and I'm not an electrician, but I've been around this stuff long enough. I've been a realtor for over 17 years and I've been around it long enough to know quite a bit about it. It's a safety hazard. It's just a wire with no insulation. And the first thing that people do is these old houses, they want to start insulating them to make them warmer, but they don't bother to go ahead and take care of the knob and tube wiring sometimes before they do that. And when you let insulation meet a bare wire, you can get a fire. So we have to be very aware of this type of wiring. When I go into an old house, my buyers are usually caught up in the charm and the woodwork and all of the good stuff that we love about these old houses. But I'm seriously looking at the electrical and I'm looking at the type of outlets that I see in the house, because two-prong outlets will be the first clue that you're dealing with something that's not grounded. So as we go through, I look. There are a lot of sellers who in the disclosures tout that the electrical has been updated. And what they usually mean is the panel has been updated. It's no longer a fuse box. The panel's been swapped out, but the electrical really hasn't been dealt with. They think if they have that panel with breakers that they're okay. And that's not exactly true. So I like to go down in the basement and see if I detect the presence of knob and tube anywhere. Most of the time these systems are hybrid, so the panel's been replaced and people have gone ahead and actually gotten the knob and tube removed from the basement. That's typically what you'll see. When you go upstairs though, the walls are still plaster, so no one has really gutted the house and rewired it completely unless they've fished the wiring through the walls, which on my particular farmhouse, that's what was done. And then you'll go upstairs and you'll probably see two-prong outlets upstairs, because while the downstairs may have been taken care of, nobody bothered to do anything upstairs. The attic is usually where you can find the remainder of the knob and tube, but if there's no walk-up attic in the old house, then your inspector would have to go upstairs to pick up on it. They can also find out if the outlets are two-prong ungrounded outlets as well. In the case of my sale, the basement looked good, everything was clear. The electrical had been updated downstairs, but when you went upstairs, everything was still original and insulation had been added in the attic. So the seller had to pay $4,000 to $5,000 to have the upstairs taken care of in this smaller two-story. So just be aware of knob and tube. Be aware that if you have an old house that you're in love with and you're wanting to buy, it's probably in there. Some electricians leave the light fixtures knob and tube and make the outlets grounded. So you got to watch these hybrid systems and make sure that what you're buying is safe or that you're buying it eyes wide open. Another thing that you want to watch out for is that insurance companies know all about this. Insurance companies are quick to jump on it, and if you are buying an older house, your insurance agent will be all over this. And they want assurances that the knob and tube has truly been removed from the house and disconnected. So don't be surprised if you're buying an old house if you get that question from your insurance agent. So there's a lot to think about. Don't fall for the electrical being completely updated unless that house has been totally gutted. That has not happened. In the case of mine, like I said, it was disconnected with new wiring fished through the walls, but again, there's never any guarantee unless the place has truly been gutted and renovated and new wiring has been run all over. If you have questions about this topic or any other real estate related topic, you can reach out to me by phone, text, email, private message. And if you're watching on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. Thanks so much. Bye.